Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. So I got this question here that I titled, how do I know if my writing is good enough to publish? And I thought this was good because I get a lot of, when I go and speak at different events and stuff, and I talk about blogging, and even in my How to Market Yourself, a software developer course, I often get responses, or the blogging course, which you can sign up for here. I get responses asking this question, basically like, how do I know if I'm good enough? Or they feel inadequate. So I thought I would address this. I've probably talked about this before, but I think this is a topic that is always of concern. So I got this email. It says, "Hi John, I actually wrote a couple of texts, uploaded them and sent them to friends. Your blogging course was inspiring. I would not have written those texts otherwise. However, I'm still struggling whether I should release those texts to the public or not. My question to you is, what is your opinion about that? How do you get the confidence that your stuff is interesting to everyone else? If you release text with your name on it, everyone will identify you with those texts and probably judge you if they don't agree with the contents, even strangers. Don't you feel sometimes intimidated about that? Note that my texts are about my philosophical views on the world, not about programming, and the goal is not to, quote, boost my career, but to gain insights about philosophical topics and give those insights to some other people. I'm looking forward to your reply. Keep up the good work, Hendrik." So Hendrik, here's the thing. There's a few things I want to unpack here, but okay, nothing is ever going to be good enough, right? I mean, and there's no judge that gets to say whether your stuff is good enough or high quality enough, to be released, or whether you're worthy of releasing something out into the world. I mean, take a look at like certain artists, right? That I'm trying to think. What's his name? Is the I can't think of it. He did the Campbell Soup. Anyway, maybe that's a bad example because I can't think of his name. But there's plenty of times where if someone asked for permission, that they would have been judged and laughed at, and they were laughed at, and then they became famous, or they totally took art or some kind of field in a totally different direction because they weren't afraid. And so, what I would say to you is basically this: look, you're never going to be ready. You got to do shit before you're ready, right? You got to jump in before you're ready. If you wait till you're ready, you're never going to be ready. What you got to do is you got to put your stuff out there. I did this video on why you should suck, why you shouldn't be afraid to suck, why you should embrace the suck, essentially, and you should do that, right? You should want to suck, because the first blog post I put out, the first videos I made on YouTube. I mean, you could check out the first two videos I made on YouTube where I was totally uncomfortable in front of the camera, and I totally had this high-pitched squealy voice, and I didn't know what I was doing. I put them out there anyway. I knew they weren't good, but and people judge me. That's fine, right? But you can't care. First of all, you can't care what other people think. If you're really gonna do something good, if you're really going to accomplish something in life, you can't care what other people think. You just got to do what you're going to do. I mean, that's going to be such a reoccurring theme in your life that I think it's worth just repeating, is that don't care what other people think. You do what you're going to do. And so if you feel something is good, or if you want to get that out there, and even if you know that it sucks, but you want to produce, then do it. Put it out there. Get out there. Get used to feeling uncomfortable. Get used to being rejected. Get used to having everyone feel like, telling you that your work is shit. Get used to that, because that's what reality is. But once you get past that, that's when you can grow. You never grow unless you're uncomfortable, right? I'll tell you this right now. So the thing that's making you uncomfortable, that's exactly what you need to do. Whatever Ralph Waldo Emerson says, whatever you fear, you do. If you fear it, you have to do it. I don't remember the exact quote, but he essentially says that, right? In not so many words, probably more eloquently. But the point is, get out there and do it. Put your work out there. It's never going to be good enough. It's fine. The best people, always feel like imposters, right? I did this video on imposter syndrome, and I'm telling you that no matter how good you are, you're going to feel like an imposter. Every day I wake up and I'm like, man, who am I fooling? But it doesn't matter, because I'm going to do it anyway, because none of that stuff matters. It just, you create your work, you do your thing, and you're going to get better at it. I promise you. But you got to get past that. You got to get past worrying about feeling uncomfortable. You got to get past worrying what people think, and you got to get past worrying if it's good enough, because it never is. People are always going to judge you, and that's the only way to grow, is you got to embrace that suck, embrace that discomfort. Hopefully that helps you. So I want to see you publish your stuff, put it out on your blog, put it out there. I don't care if it's not good. Do it, and keep doing it. And I promise you, you can't keep on doing something and not get better. You will get better. It will become good. And pretty soon, if you keep on doing it, you're putting yourself in those situations where you feel uncomfortable, you'll get a thick skin, and you won't worry what people think. But if you don't ever do that, you're not going to wake up tomorrow and suddenly be good and not care what people think. The only way that's going to happen is if you take an action, you take a step, and you work, you do stuff before you're ready. That's the key. So anyway, good question, and hopefully you get your stuff out there. So if you have a question for me, email me at john@simpleprogrammer.com. And if you like this video, by the way, if you're listening on the podcast, come to YouTube, just look for JSONMEZ, and you can check me out on the YouTube and see the videos. And I actually do 2 to 3 videos a day, so a bunch of them don't actually make it onto the podcast if you're a podcast listener. So check those out. Anyway, if you like the video, subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.